In this tutorial of Watch Dogs 2 80%, I would like to share with you my knowledge on how to speedrun this game. Now, I would like to mention that this tutorial is geared towards PC players, since I did speedruns of this game myself on PC. However, most of this should also be possible on console as well. Before we get into gameplay, I'd like to show you how to optimize the in-game settings for the speedrun. So if I don't mention specific setting, it's probably best to leave it as default. For difficulty level, we want to set it to easy because the category is 80% and we like to go as fast as possible. If you're playing the game on mouse and keyboard, there's one specific setting that you should change. That is the hacking aim assist. This is not to be confused with regular aim assist when you're aiming with a gun. This is when you're hacking something, someone, or when you're doing a hacking puzzle. Setting this higher makes it so that you don't have to point your cursor directly at something to hack it. Any other setting here is up to you to customize. I also like to get into HUD settings because changing a couple of these will save time in the speedrun. One of them is the mission objectives module. Having this on will delay missions from being completed more quickly, so you should turn this one off. You should also turn off the rewards module because having this one on will delay phone calls from coming in between missions. So it's only the mission objectives module and the rewards module that I recommend that you turn off for the speedrun. You can also turn off all of these other ones that I have off. As for the ones I have on, I recommend that you keep them on so that it doesn't interfere with your ability to do the speedrun. Video settings is for whatever your PC can handle. For online preferences, I recommend that you play this game in offline mode if possible. If not, make sure that you turn off all online interactions. For audio and language, you can turn off subtitles. I don't think it affects speed in the speedrun. However, it can provide a cue when you're skipping dialogue. Music and volume is entirely up to you as well. And for the run of any percent in this game, we allow the use of Uplay Rewards. So that's the research boost, which adds 3 extra research points, and the extra 30,000 that we use for the 3D printer. And with that done, we can finally get into gameplay. Starting off this game, we have a skippable cutscene, but the timer doesn't start until we can control Marcus. This is also the same time as when the HUD will show up. You'll see the mini-map on the bottom left and botnet on the bottom right at the same time as when you can control Marcus. And if you notice, my input display is on the left side of the screen, and my key bindings are listed in the description below. So the timer starts now. Here we just have to follow the intended route to get to this cutscene trigger.
Then find and erase your personal CTOS profile.
And this cutscene is also unskippable.
And I'm sick of getting harassed for it.
All the more reason for a purge. We'll be watching.
Try to keep up.
Yeah, if you notice, I kind of moved there at the end of the cutscene to interrupt the crouching animation. Don't think it really saves time, but I prefer to do it. Here I just run past all the guards, since it can't really kill you if you're running past them on easy. Here I just make sure to run out right to this box before I interact with it. Cars can still shoot here, but it's extremely rare. And then I make sure to just drop down here at a good angle to unlock this door. And this is the start of an unskippable cutscene. Lasts about a minute. The end of this cutscene is the first several cutscene fades in the game where you can move. Another noteworthy thing during fades is that you can press any other button during the fade. This means that you can actually pause during the fade, so just keep that in mind.
Well, problems are why you keep me around, right?
Time him. I'm curious.
Too late. He's in.
Already?
Don't play out on them.
I have no idea.
Nuh-uh. No synonyms either. Give me a real answer.
I'm just not that into aliens or video games.
Just It's not just any alien. It's
Oh, come on. Anyone else having a problem with their phone? Ooh, what? Oh, God. Oh, God.
So you'll see me mash movement buttons to be able to move during this fate. And you see me trying to sprint while accessing this camera and access key that allows me to skip this small animation with Marcus getting up. Saves me a couple seconds.
Yeah, I never listen.
Here I turn on the net hack so I can see our enemies here. This section is a lot of RNG. Guards are all in random locations, so you don't want guards here to be along your path. You want them to be far away, and you certainly don't want them to engage in combat with you or to be looking directly at you. If they're looking directly at you, then there's a pretty good chance that they will engage in combat with you. And because of the RNG here, I'd like to show you a few different situations. I don't get the best RNG here, but I still manage to run past without detection because I have good movement and because I get lucky with this detection system. So here, if they shoot you while you're trying to use this, then you'll get interrupted and you'll have to start all over again. In my 242 run, I had to interact with a guard on the upper level here. So right about here. So he's looking right at me, towards my direction. And there's no way I could avoid engaging in combat with enemies here unless I were to use the takedown on him. That was the only thing I could do here.
IRC, and he's got cred. Figured we'd give him a test drive. He's got cred.
During another one of my older runs, this guard's here, so I had to use a stun gun to knock him out. In this case here, I shoot this guard that's looking right at me with the stun gun, and I'm still able to avoid detection. And in this final scenario, I reach the console, I'm able to interact with it. The guard there is looking right at me, and the detection meter fills all the way up, but he doesn't shoot me because I'm not using the movement keys to move around. He will just try to go up to you to arrest you, but obviously will not let him do that, and you can run away. So for this scenario, I'm not going to show you every single situation here. I would recommend that you do this many times to figure out what to do. You're given guard spawns in different locations.
CTOS tagged him as the prime suspect in a high-tech
And
burglary.
here I just run to the next objective because you can get to 100% while you're up there, and you have to run up there regardless. Saves several seconds.
Once in the system.
Always in this.
Here I just aim the gun so the Marcus doesn't accidentally jump. You also want to start pressing the interact button before it gets to 100%, like at 98%. Want to make sure you don't do it too early, otherwise it won't work. You'll have to just start the circle all over again. And this is another cutscene that's unskippable. Lasts about a minute.
It's at least 120 degrees in there.
Give the man props. He's going the mile.
So coming up here is the first hacking puzzle in the game.
He's in the system.
Nobody's gotten that far. This is like the secret cow level.
So if you notice, I moved that first node 3 times to get to the correct position. In general for this game, for hacking puzzles, if you accidentally move it once after moving it to the correct position, to fix it, you want to press the hack button 3 times to get back to the original position. That's for these kinds of nodes, the ones with 90-degree angles. So if you accidentally move this one 4 times, you want to move it 3 times to get back to its correct position. And you want to move that one once. Here I just mash space the entire way to get past everything.
my threat so high? This is bullshit. Fuck. Or I could just... Just gonna drop a little backdoor into the system so I can get back inside later. Sorry, Bloom. We've got unfinished business.
He's heading out. Bag him.
Yeah.
So at the end of this cutscene here, you can adjust your camera to move towards the junction box. If you notice, I press escape before hacking this box.
You catch that? Track him down.
And this section has a little bit RNG. Sometimes the door at the bottom here isn't open. Sometimes it's closed. If it's closed, then you have to open it. Unfortunately here, we get good RNG. This is a faster, much riskier way of doing this mission that even I don't do because how inconsistent it is and how risky it is. So make sure that you run towards the railing while the cursor is aimed towards this direction. Then you want to point your gun at this railing here. You want to land straight at this railing. Now if you land to the left of this railing from above, you'll die. You land the right, you'll land on this platform and lose a little bit of time. And when you're falling down, you want to land on something that will lessen the fall damage so that you'll survive the fall. And we just make our way to this objective here. Now starts a long 7.5 minute cutscene that's unskippable. So not much we can really do here except wait. So we'll just get right ahead to when we gain control of Marcus. We have to wait for the phone call from Satara first before we can access the apps on the phone.
Damn, walk of shame on my first day.
Yeah, if you notice there, I press the phone button and escape before I can get into the map. When entering this shop, go to the right here a little bit to make everyone move out of the way and to avoid them. Use arrow keys here to select the pants and press escape twice to exit out. And I try to go right of those people to avoid them after exiting the shop. Here you want to look for a bike or a car so that you can drive to the hackerspace. And if you get a car, you'll want to use the strat to remove the window or the door of a car. That saves a few seconds over Marcus break into a car the regular way. One general thing you can do in this game is to remove vehicle doors and windows by running up the vehicle's door and using either your handgun or stun gun and pressing the fire button. And this largely depends on where you're aiming and the height of the vehicle. For a vehicle of this height, you want to aim at the height of the window for it to work. It can be quite tricky at first to get it. You need to aim at the correct angle. Too low, it doesn't work. Too high, it doesn't work. So you want to aim low for a vehicle of this height.
911, please state the nature of your emergency.
Please send as many cops as
For
you
this
got.
truck, pretty much aim at the height of the window.
OS is monitoring the situation.
A little bit lower and you can remove the door. For a vehicle of this height, small car, You want to aim pretty low. For taller vehicles, you just have to aim at a tall height. Try to aim at the height of the window. That should generally work. One thing to consider when doing this strategy to remove vehicle doors and windows is that Marcus will remain crouched in enemy zones where he's undetected by the enemies. So he's simply too low of a height to reach taller vehicles, window or door to break it. For shorter vehicles in the game, like the performance vehicles, they can get quite tricky to remove the doors and windows. You generally have to aim pretty low.
What's your emergency? Someone's shooting! Can you hear it? Send help! CTOS is monitoring the situation. Police are en route.
And for some vehicles in the game, it doesn't seem as though it's possible to remove the door or window. For example, this convertible doesn't have any side windows, so it doesn't seem as though it's possible. But you also do not need to open the doors for these vehicles, so it doesn't really matter. And another thing that I like to mention about this strat is that hitting the door with your gun may not always remove the door immediately. It may instead damage the door and destroy the window instead. And you'll know this happens when you hear the sound of the gun hitting the door, but it doesn't fall off. So the door will fly off when you're driving the vehicle. So keep this in mind when you're trying to remove the vehicle door. As for any strat in the speedrun, I recommend you practice this remove corridor or window strat so that you're able to use it. And if you're getting a car the first time, you want to exit out that box that shows up, and then you want to get the car on demand app while driving to the hackerspace. Want to make sure that your vehicle doesn't block the entrance here. Then you just want to get to this objective. From here to the end of this upcoming cutscene, it's about a minute long, and it's unskippable.
Yo!
Finally. So Josh and I spoke, and fucking over Bloom has been a long-standing project.
All right, you need two things to take down Bloom. You need to get people to rally behind your cause and separate you from the trolls.
And we need bots, and a lot of them to handle the data CTOS is processing.
Thank you, Josh.
We spent all night modifying our app so you can get followers to download the app, and we can use their processing power for the cause.
This is happening? It's really happening?
Yeah, man, this is happening. You better get to it.
Hell yeah, man! Barbarians are at the gate and ready to bust some Roman heads.
Yeah, we're gonna focus on some high-profile ops, playing for exposure and laughs to get people to download our app.
All right.
Don't worry.
After this cutscene is over, you want to use the car app to order the Suzumi R. This is a card that you have available to you at the beginning of this game by default. Now this game, when talking to NPCs, then the game will try to move you to the correct position before you're able to talk to them. So I attempt to move to the correct position myself, so the game doesn't have to.
Try.
Do that correctly, you'll gain a couple seconds.
Come here. You've got to check this out. Behold. So.
Here I hold escape to skip the dialogue. That's better than trying to rapidly press escape a bunch of times to skip all the dialogue. Holding escape just skips the entire dialogue of the character that you're speaking to. Now also press escape another time to exit out the phone menu so that I can use the shortcut button for accessing the research app, which is I. So I get the great distraction skill because that's very useful for running past and distracting enemies. Then I get the electroshock grenades because those are also useful later on in this run. After gaining the skills, I immediately exit out and talk to Wrench. And this dialogue is unskippable.
An arsenal of lethal weapons down.
Seriously?
Yep. Once you master it, voila! Hipster merchant of death.
All good, except I'm no hipster.
You keep telling yourself that. Now try to make something. But don't blow us up.
And for the 3D printer here, if you notice, I can kind of use the arrow keys to move my selection up or down to select the jumper and the handgun before the menu shows up. Press escape to skip out that box that shows up. And go here for the correct spot for Horatio. We'll escape to skip his dialogue. Then move here to talk to Zatara.
This whole place is something.
This dialogue with Zatara is not skippable, so nothing we can do here.
So it knows if we're trending?
No. It's based on hard values. How many people downloaded our app, how much processing power we have access to, you know.
Nice.
And speaking of which, we're downloading the Dedsec app into your phone as we speak. When it's ready, open it up, click the suggested op, and hit the park outside so we can test it.
Sounds good.
One more thing. I put a reminder on your phone so you remember what we're gunning for.
After this is over, want to access the map and fast travel to this coffee shop. I also want to use the J button, the shortcut button for accessing the Dedsec app. Find either a car or bike. Drive to this objective here. And make sure that car doesn't interfere with your ability to talk to this guy.
Hey,
We fast travel here because we are able to get this key data earlier in the game before the game tells you to. So this is a Cyberdriver mission where you can get the Nitrous, and you also want to be running in this direction, not looking towards this direction here, while using the car app to order the Suzumi R. That way you'll be able to run while ordering this car. You want to stop around this area here. You want to access that camera near the billboard to get an extra research point, because we had the extra 3 research points from the research boost in the Uplay Rewards. This allows us to get an extra skill earlier in the game. So you just want to drive over here to the key data here. Just distract the guards and get the key data. Now here, what you do can change depending on what has happened. If you get a armored car, you want to quit out to the main menu and get back into the game quickly. Or if the guards have detected you, or the police are searching for you, then you want to also quit out of the game, into the game's main menu, and then go back quickly into the game. If not, you want to fast travel back to the Hackerspace. And here is where you want to quit into the main menu. Then mash space to get back quickly into the game. This is so that you don't have to wait an inconsistent amount of time for the phone call of Cyberdriver to show up. This strat only saves time if you are on PC and you use the load list timer. However, it doesn't save real time. And you just want to run here to the correct spot to wrench before talking to him. Skip this cutscene.
Have you seen the trailer for the new Jimmy Siska movie?
You also want to reload the checkpoint to teleport you outside of the hackerspace. You want to run up to the driver's side door and remove the door. You notice I didn't get in through the passenger side. That would have been faster by a little bit. That's because removing the driver's side door allows us to use the teleport glitch for this next cutscene. This glitch will save us at least 15 seconds. Try to drive this route properly. And you notice I drive to the left here. I don't drive straight to the objective on the minimap. Driving over here also allows you to trigger the cutscene, because the cutscene trigger is also over here. Now here is very important. You don't want to crash into these things, these poles right here, because that can slow down the speed of your vehicle completely. You want to let the cutscene slow down your speed automatically, so that this glitch is more consistent. And you want to avoid braking too much to slow down your vehicle, or crashing into any vehicles in this area. Then you want to skip this cutscene. If you did it right, then you should teleport here. And if you teleport here, you want to find a bike. I recommend doing a different strat. If you don't find a bike, then I will show that strat a little bit later. And just drive to this area here. And you want to open this door. Use this box on the ground to knock out the guard here. Climb this.
Okay, guys,
Open this door. Distract this guard. Use the stun gun to knock him out. Then you want to cancel out of that box that shows up when you collect money for the first time. Then you want to hack this. Hack this camera. Get the access key. Switch cameras. Then mash the hack button to hack this. And after that, leave the area.
I found it.
And try out the circle here to end the mission. You want to skip the phone call before you can fast travel. And I will recommend doing this strat if you do not get a bike here. So just run to this spot and reload the checkpoint. That will teleport you closer to the studio. Just open this gate and the other gate so that we can exit through there later. And you want to climb on top of this truck and run at the same time and hack this camera and access key and switch to the Electroshock Device. You want to throw at this guard to knock him out. And you want to climb up here, open this door. Use your stun gun to shoot this guard and break the window at the same time. So climb through, open this door, and do this physical hack. And when running out here, you want to either distract the guard or knock them out. And if you notice, I can hack this object to the open door. The reason why I don't do this going the other way and with a bike is because you have to run to the spot to open the door and to hack the object. So I think it's too much of a hassle to do that. But it works very well if you do it this way, because you have to exit through this path anyway. So just jump down, distract this guard if there is one. And you want to use the police car inside here to drive out. So just go this way and drive out of the circle like you would do the other way. Skip the phone call. Then fast travel here to the stadium. After you fast travel to the stadium, you want to run in this direction and keep looking there. And if you see a bike, you want to take it. If not, you want to continue moving in that direction and use the car app to spawn the car. And you use this car to drive to the next mission. Use the car to climb up on top of this building. So you just want to run up to this guy to start the mission. Make sure that you skip this cutscene.
If you want deets on where the car is at,
Like Jimmy Siska and pop star Nelly Shire?
And you want to drop down from the building and look for a good vehicle nearby. Want a good vehicle so that you can drive into that area to get the smart car. You want to drive into this guard to knock them over. Then you can distract this car while getting out this car. Then you want to run up here to trigger this cutscene with the smart car. If you're lucky enough, you won't be shot while trying to interact with this objective. because it can still shoot you while you're trying to interact with this and interrupt you, even though this interaction is very short. What you don't want to do after interacting with this objective is press the interact button again and get inside the car. Otherwise, you'll spawn outside of this car and trailer after this cutscene is over. If you get a bike here, it's a little bit different. So you want to crash into the same cars to knock them out. And if you're lucky, you will not get shot before you complete this interaction.
Powering up. System check.
Sweet! Let's roll.
Turn our camera around so that the helicopter will spawn closer. And you want to stop in this spot here. This mission is one of the most RNG heavy missions in the game because of the police vehicle spawns, and that's why the minimap is very important for this mission. So you want to shoot the helicopter sniper. That will make the helicopter back off. You also want to be mindful of the fact that the police can still shoot you here, so they can kill you if you're unlucky here. And you want to drive up here across the freeway because the police cannot follow you here. You want to look on the mini-map, kind of want to adjust your camera to see if there's vehicle spawns over here, If so, you might need to change your driving route to something else.
You hear this? The car's talking.
Suspect couldn't have gotten far. Let's block him out. Patrol car in pursuit of suspect.
If you look on your mini-map and you don't see any cars spawn, then you can head towards the direction of Wrench's garage.
Dispatch, can you run a check? Is this a part of the movie?
Hopefully it's all good.
Gotta be around here somewhere.
And you want to just drive into the garage here and skip the dialogue that's left over. I'm going to try to share a few different scenarios on this mission. So in this case, a police car spawns over here, and to avoid them, we need to go this way so that he can't detect us.
The car's talking.
Be advised, units are en route to the suspect's location.
So just drive the same way to Wrench's garage. And if you notice, the escape meter shows up here, which is not optimal.
Dispatch, can you run a check? Is this a part of the movie?
So you need to go all the way here to escape from the police.
Car is en route to the suspect.
The car's
In this
talking.
case, I get unlucky with a police car spying on the freeway and managing to detect me. And also this other car on the outside, so I have to take this route.
Dispatch, can you run a check? Is this a part of the movie?
This is also another route that you can take on this mission if you get suboptimal RNG.
Let's find him.
Copy that.
Not authorized to
In this scenario, there's a police car coming down this road.
drive this.
So you move forward a little bit and wait until the police car is about to enter the freeway
Car's talking.
before you exit the freeway. Doing it this way allows you to avoid detection.
Suspect.
So again, just follow the same route to Wrench's garage.
Watch him out. Dispatch, can you run a check? Is this a part of the movie? It's gotta be around here somewhere.
In this case, after exiting the freeway, there's a police car over here. So the only way to avoid detection is to go back to the freeway.
Squad, we're gonna circle back and see if we can
Now doing it this way is a little bit risky because the police car can still spawn on the freeway and detect you.
He has to be around here somewhere.
Your face is
Now this black screen can change depending on how close you are when you end the mission and when you escape from the police. So the closer you are, the shorter that black screen will be. Now since we have the key data already, we can just start this mission immediately after finishing the previous mission. This saves at least 30 seconds in the speedrun. This last mission for Cyberdriver is just all driving. Driving to the checkpoints using Nitrous as much as possible. Now on this first jump, we want to use your direction keys to adjust the car on the jump. Make sure it doesn't crash into the ground too hard. There isn't much you can do to speed up except for driving well and avoiding collision with other cars.
All units, we're in pursuit of a vehicle fitting the description of the Cyberdriver car. I repeat, fitting the description of
You have to drive through all checkpoints here in this mission to trigger the last cutscene. So there isn't any way to skip any of this mission.
We're gonna mess with the cops.
Oh, man. Is that the car from the movie? Yeah, that's the cyber car. Hey!
Moving to intercept.
But George, there's no driver in the car.
Oh, George, you need to get your eyes checked. Holy jumping frogs! There's no driver in that car! Jump the barge.
You think?
Totally doable. Just remember to boost the engine.
Use lethal force if you have
And here you want to use the direction keys to adjust your jump
Oh!
if necessary.
Marcus,
Live on the scene, we're getting reports of the Cyberdriver car performing spectacular stunts around town.
Now here sometimes this police car can move forward and block you,
It could
but
be
it
a
usually
marketing stunt
doesn't.
for the upcoming release of action thriller Cyberdriver. We're able to get a closer look at the Cyberdriver car as it races through the city. And it seems that there's no driver.
Here I kind of drive in the middle of this road because you can avoid all traffic there.
Police are still in pursuit of the Cyberdriver car. Wait, what's that? Folks, we're seeing a logo on the car. It reads Dedsec.
That's hella dope.
Just keep driving as well as you possibly can. That's all you can do here.
Galilee shouldn't have risked their reputation by dealing with the studio at all.
It's okay.
And now for the big finish.
And this short cutscene and this mission is also unskippable. Skip all these cutscenes here.
Start.
Are you watching?
That's the end of Cyberdriver. Make sure you go to the correct position here.
Mark it.
Escape from that phone call. Talk to Satara to start False Prophets.
Nudle wants to step into the ring with us.
Skip the cutscene. Then we want to fast travel to the False Prophets mission. After you fast travel here, you want to use the car app to spawn the car. As you enter the car, you want to go into the research app. You want to get the vehicle directional hack and the nitrous upgrade because we can use them earlier in the run. Then you want to get the explosive device because we are going to use that later in the run. And also get the botnet upgrade for more utility. So you want to drive to the next mission. Make sure that you equip your handgun. You can drive into the staircase to slow your vehicle. So just get out and start the mission. And skip this cutscene. You want to shoot your gun to manipulate NPCs inside the building to open the front door so that you can enter through that door. In this game, NPCs can open doors that you cannot. The strat is a lot faster than using a jumper because Marcus can run faster than the jumper. And you cannot use the camera to hack the access key to unlock the door from here. So there aren't too many options that we have. You want to go up the stairs and go to the front door.
I'm heading in. I'll dig up what I can.
So if you see anyone trying to call the cops, you can hack their phone to make them stop. But be careful, you don't have too much time. As you can see, I ran up the stairs and this guy is already trying to open the door. And here you want to equip the stun gun and turn on net hack so that you can look at the guard with the gun over here so that you can shoot them before the door opens. Here you want to be careful of the guard on the right because he can sometimes detect you. So if you notice the detection meter going up, you might have to distract him to avoid detection. You can also grab the access key while running past here, but I don't. And you want to disable the net hack, check the map to see where the guards are located. You want to distract the guard here. Now I want to talk about the RNG on this mission. The events of this mission may not always turn out this way because of the RNG on this mission. Sometimes the guards can be in different locations. These guards in this instance are still on the 2nd floor. Sometimes they'll be running down the stairs depending on what happens. So you want to be mindful of the RNG for this mission. So I recommend practicing this mission a lot. So you want to be very careful. If the guards are running off, then you might have to wait a little bit before doing the physical hack. And you might also have to take these guards out in case they linger around this area. After you do the physical hack, you want to hack the junction box on the other side because that might catch a guard that might be running nearby. And you might get a guard or two coming back to this spot. In that case, you want to take them out. Then you want to climb this bookcase to get the access key. And you can check the camera over there to check what's happening on the 1st floor. And if the 1st floor is clear, then you can just run out.
What was that?
And using the time that you have left, you want to use the vehicle directional hack to get the car closer to the side so you don't have to run to the other side. Here you also can hack people to recharge your botnet, but I wasn't able to. And let's say you were to mess up on this mission and engage in combat with the enemies.
Control, be advised that a possible target or targets have been reported near your location.
So try to distract these guards here. And just try to force the physical hack here. Even if people are shooting at you. You only want to use your stun gun, Electroshock Device, or environmental hacks to knock out on the enemies here. Since shooting a regular gun here can alert the police if they are outside, so I would advise against that. And here you may or may not have enough time to use the vehicle hack to move cars around. Ideally, you will be able to knock out all the guards if they engage in combat with you, and just be able to escape from them much more easily. And from here, we just drive to the next mission because it's faster than fast traveling there because we have to wait for the phone calls.
Guys.
You want to drive on this side of the road because prevents a side mission marker from appearing on this restaurant here. You want to crash into this thing to slow down the momentum and get out this car, talk to this guy, and then hold escape to skip his dialogue. So this mission is just all cutscenes, so I mashed escape to skip all of the cutscenes.
Alright, let's get started.
After this mission's over, you have to wait for a phone call before you're able to fast travel. Then I just hack everyone to recharge botnet.
Alright.
And skip the phone call and fast travel over there to go to the next mission.
Hi, it's me,
Then over here, there isn't always a bike here. This bike is here 90% of the time, so you might have to go to the parking lot to get another vehicle or use the car app on the car if the bike isn't here. I'm going to drive to the next mission and use Nitrous. It's completely fine to use all your button here. Just You have opportunities to recharge it during the next mission. Drive on the hill like this, at this angle to go up the hill. And talk to Miranda here to start the mission.
What kind of truck?
And you can move during this fade as well.
Mark.
Here you can hack the cards to recharge your botnet if they have any. Then you want to get the key down here for the laser disable. Here I hacked this to take this car out, but you want to be careful about doing this because sometimes this car can knock you over if you get unlucky with the explosion. Now I do this explosion because it knocks this car out and also because it manipulates the other cards to be in the correct position. Then once you open this door, you can distract this card. And then do physical hack. I don't get his access key because I think it wastes a little bit of time. Because you can get the access key while climbing up here. Tilt your camera to the access point to open the door. And then talk to Jimmy to start this cutscene.
Jason! My name's not Jason, and I'm not with
And you can also move during this fade. So I kind of move a little bit backwards. And I climb off the side here to avoid the computer blocking me. And you'll be mindful of these people here. Sometimes those guards can see you. I want to distract them as well. And you climb over those rocks. Then run outside the circle. Here you can reload your weapon. Make sure to skip this phone call. Then you can fast travel to the next mission. Depending on your timing of this mission, you can get a phone call from Wrench that wastes a couple seconds. After this cutscene, there's a fade where you can move. You want to move backwards here.
Could we just ask someone for directions?
And you want to get on a bike. The bike can be facing this way or it can be facing this way. So you want to use either stairs to jump over the wall or you can crash into the railing.
Okay, gang, I'm about...
Here I don't use nitrous because it can make you lose control of the bike. Use it here. And here you want to be careful about the vehicles. You can easily mess up here by crashing in the vehicle while using nitrous. As you're driving in here, you want to drive slowly, don't make a lot of noise. And you want to shoot your gun to manipulate the guard on the outside of this building to open the front door of this temple so that he can go inside for cover. This strat has some RNG because this strat doesn't always work, so this is one of the run killers. There isn't always a guard that will open the door if you try to shoot your gun, so you might just run the opposite way instead. And this strat is a lot faster than getting the access key in one of the side buildings there. Now another strat here is to hack the access key inside the temple, but you need to get a weird angle and it's not reliable. You want to look for the guard running to you. As soon as you see him run forward, you want to distract him and distract the guard that's opening the door, and then you want to drive forward into the temple. If you're driving slow enough, then you can just get off the bike and let your bike crash into the seating here. And you want to run up the stairs, get the access key, and start the hacking puzzle. I'm going to do this one first. Then this node. Then this node again. And you want to do this one for this set of nodes here. Here you want to do this node, this node, this node, this node again, then this node. Then you want to do this node, this node again, this node, then the node on the bottom. around this area because you need to get the correct angle and placement of the cursor. Because these nodes here can be a little bit tricky because you might accidentally move the other node. You want to move this node, this node, this node, node again, then this node, this node. After you finish all the nodes, you can hack the final node here, then hack the elevator. And you want to hack the door while you're jumping down.
It's gotta be Jimmy's elevator.
And you want to get on the bike. And there's a guard still inside the building. You can distract them.
What? It's true.
Here you want to drop down onto the elevator that's lowering while also staying on the bike and without losing your bike. Because if the bike lands in the wrong way here, then you can lose your bike. And you cannot use your directional keys to maneuver your bike while dropping here. So what I do is slow down and then I drop down.
Welcome to the 5th level of the New Dawn.
Make sure the bike is in the middle on the elevator here. I don't use my bike to drive this cutscene because you can lose your bike by doing that. Then I hack the elevator while running here and then wait for this cutscene. I don't get on the bike yet. Wait until after this cutscene to get on the bike because you can lose the bike by being on the bike earlier. The side of the elevator can clip the bike while you're trying to get on. If you mess up and enemy guards search the area for you, then there might be a guard inside the temple still. So you might want to distract them. Then here, again, if you mess up, there might be a guard to the right here. And you might want to distract them before driving off. After this, you want to use Nitrous, drive off. This is what you would do if you mess up on this mission and have to reload the checkpoint or lose your bike. You'll shoot to manipulate the guards while you're on foot. Then do the hacking puzzle as normal. Then here you want to make sure that you don't activate the elevator too early. This Marcus cannot survive a fall from the same height as you using a bike.
I've unlocked. Oh!
Welcome to the 5th level of the New Dawn, and congratulations on your spiritual ascendance.
Thank you. I worked hard for it.
Then after this cutscene, you want to reload the checkpoint since you don't have a bike. And this skips some of the elevator ride. And you can exit out the back here. Use the Explosive device to destroy the fence. Then you can just run outside the circle. And false prophets. Then you want to fast travel to the pawn shop. After you fast travel here, you want to use the car app to spawn the car. Drive to this next mission. This is just a cutscene, so just mash escape to skip the cutscene. Then fast travel up to there to go to the next mission. Want to look for a fast vehicle, bike or a sports car or performance car. You can't use a car app because you used it within the last 60 seconds, so you have to wait for it to recharge. And drive up to here.
Okay.
Then you will be running against this wall, and then use the jumper. That will skip an animation, saves a couple seconds. You might get a media broadcast. If it shows up, you can skip it. Then you want to go here and start the mission.
Where are you?
This cutscene cannot be skipped, so we have to wait here. I would reload the checkpoint here, but there's a phone call blocking me, so I just run outside. You can get on the bike here if it's parked in a good position, but it's such a short distance that it doesn't matter. So you want to equip the Electroshock Device and throw it at the window to destroy it and climb over. You might encounter a guard in this building or around the corner here. And if you see a guard up the stairs here, you can distract him to be safe. And you want to hack the access key from this guard. Usually you don't have to go inside to be able to do this, but sometimes he can be on the upper platform, so you might have to go into the building to be able to hack the access key. And this hack can be tricky because there can be another person behind the guard, and that can interfere with your ability to hack the access key. And another thing is that guard spawns in this area are random. So I equip the explosive device and I throw it at these crates so that I don't have to deal with the crates later when I'm driving through. So just open the gate and you can throw Electroshock Device right next to this guard. And you can detonate the Electroshock Device while you're entering the truck. Switch to the explosive device to blow up the crates. And if you notice, Marcus is doing a faster animation to enter the vehicle because I have already engaged in combat with them. I actually want to engage in combat with the enemy, so I let the detection meter fill up from this guard before getting into this truck. And this gate may or may not be open. Sometimes the guys in this area will open the gate, sometimes they may not. If they have already been at the gate for a while, then it's probably best to leave them to open it. If they have only been at it a short amount of time, then you probably want to open the gate. But you certainly want to keep in mind that the guys in this area can screw you over. You want to drive out to the right here. There may sometimes be a humanoid car or a trolley car. But the humanoid car and the vehicles in the street are RNG. Usually driving this van with nitrous is good enough to escape from the car if one is chasing after you. You might also want to use the steam pipe to destroy the humanoid car chasing after you if you want, but that means you won't be able to use the botnet for the nitrous. And here you want to keep in mind that there's a humanoid facility over here, so if they're still chasing after you, then you want to be careful about going this route. And I think this route is the fastest to Wrench's garage because I've timed it to be faster than what other people are doing. So I just drive this route. So just go over here, open the garage door, and then wait for it to go all the way up before going into the garage. Then skip this cutscene. And then you want to fast travel back to the hackerspace. And you can actually start this next mission by going to this table here and pressing the interact button. You don't have to go to Josh to start this mission. Then you can skip this cutscene. Then you want to fast travel to this location by zooming in to the map. Then you want to use the car app to spawn this car while standing still. Get inside this car and then drive to the next mission. and then use Nitrous here. But be careful, because you can lose control and crash into something. Then get out this car and then go over here to trigger this mission start. Now this mission has lasers and robots, but you can ignore them because there are no enemies here. They only alert enemies to come over, and the enemies that come over here can just be distracted. And you want to hack this camera while running. Hack that access key. Jump over the railing. Lock this door. Unlock the door before doing the physical hack. And you can also hack robots here for more botnet.
Warning. All units are...
Welcome to Haum, the smart house of the future. As you enjoy your tour of our facilities,
Then hack that thing while running. The guards here do not matter. You can just distract them if they get close. You can also jump down earlier if you want to be safe. And then you just want to run outside of this circle. Then fast travel to this closed door.
Server was a bot.
Run towards this direction while using the car app. That way you're able to run and use the car app at the same time. Then get inside the car that you ordered. Now you might also get a bike there. If that's the case, then you might use the bike instead. And you want to drive over here. As soon as you get into this area, there's a phone call. Cancel the phone call before you can start this mission. Then you want to cancel this phone call. Then you want to either restart mission or blow autosave. That will teleport you across the streets and resets the guards in the area. You want to turn on net hack. You want to hack that camera. And you're able to get the access key from this card. Open this door. It doesn't matter if you get detected by the laser here. It's fine. Now entering here, you want to distract this guard. And you also want to throw the Electroshock Device on the wall here. That will knock the guard out. Hack the junction box here to catch any guard that was coming nearby. Open the door, and then you want to distract this guard, and then you want to use a stun gun up, and then hack the camera to go into the hacking puzzle. So you want to do this node, this node, this node, then go to this camera. Then do this node, this node, this node, and that node. Then that camera, and this node, then camera. This node, that camera. Here's where the hacking aim assist in the settings will take effect. You want to place the cursor somewhere around here. That will allow you to hack this object here. Now if your hack aim assist is set to 0, I don't think you can do this. You can also hack the camera and hack this object, which will also work.
Okay, opening the
Now the enemies have detected me and is searching for me in this instance, but I still managed to complete the hack. Then you want to get the SMG out this guy. And you want to shoot the guards that you've knocked out so that they cannot get up. Then you want to get into a gunfight with everyone here, because shooting all the guards here will allow you to escape at an earlier time. And I think it's a little bit easier too. But it is important to engage in combat with them, so you cannot use the stun gun. You have to use your regular gun. So I can get the money back here as well, without losing any time. You just want to be careful not to die here, doing your best to kill all the guards. So you have plenty of time to eliminate all the guards here, while waiting for this counter to go to 100%. And if you've done this correctly, careful about the robots here. Just use a stun gun on them to knock them out, or just shoot them to destroy them. If you destroy them, then you cannot hack them for botnet. If you have enough time, you're able to hack a vehicle to come into this area. You can use a vehicle to drive away. Wait for it to reach 100%. Then get into the vehicle, then drive out the circle. Now if you don't get the vehicle into this area, then you can just run out of the area as well. You want to skip the phone call before you can fast travel.
Oh man.
Teleport back to the pawn shop. And you want to use the car app here, because you need this vehicle for this next mission.
I promise. Said Smearvid is close to perfect, so I picked us up a sweet ride to take us to.
And over there, I run into an annoying bug where Marcus decides not to enter the vehicle, though you're pressing the button. So use the strat to break the window. And before I get into the vehicle, that seems to fix it. Then drive to Winter's garage to start the last mission of Home Sweet Home. You want to run up to the robot to start this mission. As soon as this cutscene is over, the car that you drove here should spawn somewhere on the street. And it's the same car, so it's unlocked.
I think we're about to earn ourselves
You want to
vacation.
get inside this car.
I always wanted to swim.
If you're running low on botnet, you can hack people here on the sidewalk.
Stingrays would be cool.
The mission allows you to abandon the van to allow you to get inside this car, so this car is much better than the van because it's all-wheel drive, meaning that I can climb the hills much more easily.
Can't trust them either.
Really? Why not?
I saw this documentary once, okay? Theme park sets up overnight dolphin camps because people get
And you want to stop using your nitrous right about here because you're turning a corner and going up the hill.
video in the morning.
That sounds more like orcas.
No, dolphins, dude. Flippers.
And you want to
fins,
drive up this
global,
hill.
you know.
How's it coming up?
And you can just drive right through the tents here. Drive up here. Marcus will get out of the vehicle, but get back in the vehicle because it's faster than running over here. Get out. You can distract this guard and get botnet. Then you also want to use the Electroshock Device to knock the guard out. You want to detonate it while it's in mid-air. And this is another reference point for the Electroshock Device. You can also throw it at this spot. Run to this physical hack.
Commencing restart in 3, 2, 1.
And there might be guards sometimes near here. Distract them as well. Jump off there. And then distract this guard as well. Run over here and use this elevator to get up to the top of this tower. And coming up is another hacking puzzle. Right after this small cutscene, you want to move a little bit forward and then start this hacking puzzle. Move a little bit forward over here, then do that. Do that node. Do that node. Do that node. Do that node.
I'm guessing you jumped
Then do that node.
out of planes before, right?
Do that node.
Crash the plane.
Go back to this node. Then go to this node. Then go to that camera.
Of course.
Running with the bull.
This node. This node.
Oh fuck.
This node.
No.
Then go to this camera.
What is it with you
And this node.
and animals?
This camera.
Fuck animals.
This node. This camera. This node and this node.
Evolving to replace us on the food chain.
Then rotate the camera to face this building here. Skip the phone call. Then skip this cutscene.
Hey.
Then skip these other cutscenes that show up.
That was humiliating. Steven.
Then after this is the end of Home Sweet Home. And they want to fast travel back to Hackerspace to start looking glass.
You need to get
Skip
back
this
here
phone
right
call.
now.
What's going?
Then you want to run up to this position here. Then start this mission from Satara. Then skip this cutscene. Then teleport over here to get to the next mission. Then stand in the same spot, use the car app. You can use a explosive device to destroy the fence, but it's optional since it probably only saves 1 second, half a second at most, doesn't save too much time. Then you can use a vehicle here to stop your car. Then you want to get out of the car to start this mission.
Sending you the.
And I accidentally clicked on an ad for hemorrhoid cream.
You want to use attack. And you have to run up here before you're able to use this camera. Hack this access key, escape. Unlock this door. You want to be running up against here to be able to climb this wall. And you can open this door while you're climbing over this wall. Then open the door. Then unlock the elevator from here. Then jump down here and use the elevator.
I unlocked the elevator. Heading.
You don't have to get inside the elevator, so you can just switch to the SMG while waiting for the cutscene to start. You can also open the door here if you missed it earlier. Escape this cutscene. You can move during this cutscene fade. You want to move forward here. And because the cops are engaged in combat view, you get the fast animation for getting into this police car. And you want to move forward to here. And you also want to shoot the helicopter sniper, because that will make it a lot easier to escape from these cops. Then you want to MB Nitrous and drive forward over here. This mission also has RNG with the police, so you want to keep that in mind. Drive forward here. You can drive in this pole that triggers a blackout. That doesn't really do much in this game. There's RNG with the police here, but I still want to drive through this area. If you still haven't escaped from the cops over here, then you want to use this ramp and be careful not to drive into water, because you might need more space, more room to escape from the police. And I like to show you a different route that you could take here. So over here, imagine that a police car spawns down this road here. So going this way also works to escape from the police. Fast travel back to the hackerspace. And run down the stairs to start the mission. And we'll skip this cutscene. Move to the right here. That will start countdown timer, but you have enough time before it runs out. Someone here will call you, but you can just skip out it before talking to Josh. Move to the correct position here to talk to Josh.
Swelter Skelter's third annual Jabberwock Hacking Challenge begins soon at the Center Sculpture. Come show us what you got.
And you want to move to the correct position to talk to Satara. Then you want to move over to Ratio here to talk to him. Move right over to here this area before talking to him. Now this dialogue cannot be skipped, unfortunately, so you have to wait.
Proper track list. This shit barely has a pulse.
DJ ratio.
Just ratio. Back when I used to do sets. Hey, maybe I'll go back to it. What else am I gonna do now?
Man, Dedsec's not over. We hit a pothole, that's all. We're gonna come back stronger.
You're always so sure of yourself.
I know, but I'm always right.
Wait. Here we go.
Ah, yeah, that's much better.
Here you want to turn your camera towards that direction because you'll be running over there to meet Finch.
Has a hard time. Meet me in the middle. Dedsec's entering a competition.
I'll be there.
Run to this position, talk to the wrench,
This is
and run to this direction. Run over here to start this next cutscene. After this is a hacking puzzle. Unlike other hacking puzzles, this one has a node that keeps spinning until the timer runs out. So immediately you want to hack the drone. Start the hacking puzzle. You want to do this node first. Then this node. Then this node. Then this node.
okay. What is this?
Then this node. Then this node. Then this node.
Nice.
Then this node. Then this node. Then wait till 16 seconds. And this node will be available to hack. Then this node. And if everything looks good, and wait till 12 seconds, you're able to hack this last node.
There seems to be a timer.
Think you can hack it?
Of course.
And you just wait for the cutscene to trigger.
Stop fucking moving.
And you want to skip all of these cutscenes here.
People, I am...
Whoa. Hey, Mark. Wow.
And skip this cutscene and that's looking glass finish. Then you want to go over to this 3D printer to get the sniper rifle. This sniper rifle will be used later in the game to kill Pablo, and it is the most convenient one to get. Then you want to skip all the phone calls and then quit into the main menu. Then go back into the game by mashing space. That should remove some of the inconsistency with the phone call. Then you want to move to this area to talk to T-Bone. Then you want to skip this phone call, then talk to T-Bone to start Limp Nudle.
Hey, yo,
You want to skip this cutscene,
I'm ready, man. I'm pumped.
and you want to go into the map. Then place your cursor at the edge of this door, then fast travel to it. You kind of want to move further into the store before using the car app to order this car, because then the car will spawn closer to the store, and that should allow Horatio to get into the car quicker. So you want to get in like that. If you did it right, then Horatio will get in the car quickly.
Beautiful. All right, man. Let me just say
Grab this route with
I
Nitrous.
apologize for it. All right, man. Let me just say right up the top. I apologize for anything. And whoa.
Then get out and trigger this cutscene with the bus. I found this back screen to be inconsistent. Sometimes it lasts a couple seconds, and sometimes it can last several seconds, but I don't know what affects it. I'm gonna skip this cutscene. So from here you want to back up so that you can take a faster route to the objective. So you can stop about 8 meters away from this objective to trigger the cutscene. So just skip this.
Hi, good morning.
I don't use nitrous yet because it messes up the handling of the bus.
What are you doing first on the bus?
What can I say? I'm an eager beaver.
Anyway, the juicing has
So I'll wait until here to start using nitrous.
My mind freer. You're killing me. So yeah, I hate to break it to you, but juicing doesn't do squat. You haven't tried my juice. I'm serious. What you want is the pulp. That's the healthy part. Juicing extracts all that. All you're drinking is sugar, smoothies. Now that's where it's at. Load them up with fruit, veg, superfood.
When the botnet runs out, you want to go into the research app.
Smoothies. Now that's where it's at. Load them up.
You want to get the environmental RC skill because we're going to be using this later. And you want to get the laser upgrade because it makes our lives a lot easier in the speedrun. And another botnet upgrade because it will recharge the botnet. And that means we can use it for more nitrous.
Fruit, veg, superfoods. Superfoods? Yeah, like goji berries, maca powder, all that good stuff. You have a lot to learn.
You know the science behind superfoods is shaky at best.
Well, they're health foods. You can't argue that.
Yeah, but goji berries are as much a superfood as grapes are. It's a marketing buzzword designed to rope.
So just continue driving to the objective. Make sure not to crash into any trees or anything like that.
Yeah, but goji berries are as much a superfood as grapes are. It's a marketing buzzword designed to rope in consumers. No offense.
Awkward.
And you can also stop a little bit further away from the objective marker to trigger this cutscene. So just skip this. You just want to be careful here not to crash into any pedestrians because they might call the cops. And you can switch into first person to make the driving a little bit easier for this bus.
Made me want to puke. I'd rather starve next time. This new sushi place is so not up to par. The soy sauce was so bland.
My spicy tuna roll was anything but.
Oh man, that is literally...
Again, be careful not to drive into any trees here.
I could think of some worse things.
And you can switch back to third person before you slow down into this cutscene. So just skip this cutscene. And immediately after the cutscene, you want to move a little bit forward. Then you can start hacking people for money and botnet. Just be careful not to walk too far away from Horatio, otherwise he will stop walking.
Yeah, welcome to my world. There's only 3 other black people that work here. 2 guys, 1 woman. We have our own mailing list.
That's rough. But hey, you're fighting a good fight, changing the face of corporate life in the valley.
You haven't experienced corporate life until you're the only brother in a meeting and have to represent all of blackdom. Jesus. If I had a nickel for every time someone complimented me for being well-spoken.
So just open this door so that Horatio doesn't have to.
The whole thing's located under the Nudle Maps building. You'll need a whole other level of clearance to get in there. The managers upstairs can take care of that for you.
And continue walking into the cutscene trigger area.
Let's hit the kitchen. Need fuel before another day of drudgery.
So just skip this cutscene.
Want a coffee? No, I'm fine.
And you want to get into the other building, so the best way to do that is to use the lift. And that's also why we got the skill earlier. Fortunately, there's one on the side of this building. And jumping onto the lift, just be careful not to use the wall to jump onto it, because you can teleport to the back of the lift. So just continue driving to the other building and raise up the lift so that you can reach the balcony. And you want to drive at this angle at the building. And you just want to be careful not to mess up here, because if you jump at the wrong distance or incorrect angle, you will not make it over to the building and you will have to redo it. So just jump off, distract this guard, open the door, and disable the laser and disable the robot and reach the terminal. You can just ignore the laser on the way back and just open the door and then run over here and immediately trigger the elevator.
Hey bro, I've gotten to the elevator. Horatio?
And then jump onto the elevator and then immediately hack it when it gets all the way up. As soon as you see an opening, you want to drop down. And I want to show a risky strat here that skips the elevator ride. So you want to move to this position and you want to point your camera where the cursor is, and you want to run against the railing and jump at the same angle. You want to land on a platform that's sticking out of the wall. This lowers your height enough so that you can survive the fall to drop down below. And while in the air, you also want to position Marcus be somewhere around this spot. So you want to land on the wheel at the bottom, so this provides you just enough height to survive the fall. You do not want to land on the left or the right of this, because doing that will kill you. I don't do this strat because of how inconsistent it is, and you can fail even if you think you did it right, but it saves around 10 seconds. And then you want to jump over the railing. Run over here, then jump over the railing. And you cannot run over here, but you can cover slide. But I don't do it because it prevents you from canceling this phone call. So immediately you want to hack these 3 objects in this room to progress. You just want to wait until you're able to hack the light switch. Just spam the button until you're able to hack it. And make sure you point your cursor directly at Horatio so that you can trigger the Yasmin dialogue. So I move the cursor like this.
I know Horatio Carlin is a very serious accusation that you've been making. I had to prepare a secure room.
Well, the evidence speaks for itself.
Mr. Carlin, I'm going to ask you to follow me.
Then you want to open this door here by accessing the keypad. And then you want to run in here and start the hacking puzzle. So this hacking puzzle is one of the easiest hacking puzzles in the game. So just move each of these nodes once except for the one in the corner. And you should do this while running. So you can complete the hacking puzzle at 5, then open the door at 6. Make sure you open the door and then interact with this objective. During this part, you are not allowed to run, but fortunately, you can still cover slide in this area. So the default button for doing that is C. So you just want to walk over here and then start cover sliding. So you want to make sure that you follow these steps correctly to be able to cover slide optimally. So when switching corners on the pillar, you want to point your camera all the way down, then press the cover button. Then you want to switch to this camera to move to the other pillar. Then repeat again at the rest of these pillars until you reach the end.
Can one of y'all help a brother out?
We have access to every workstation in Nudle,
And when you reach the end here, you want to switch back to this camera, then press the cover button.
including Horatio's.
And you can cancel the phone call over here and try to make it as far as you can. If you do this perfectly, then you can reach the other room. So you just want to skip this cutscene.
Chose not to cooperate with.
So you can hack the axis from this side. That saves a little bit of time. And want to run over here and make sure that you don't do this. So just drop down and use the slide to exit the building. Then find your way out.
You swapped out her.
From here, there are no vehicles nearby, so you just have to run until you reach a vehicle. So there are bikes you can use over here. So just get on one and use Nitrous and drive over to the objective.
Yo, how's the transfer going?
It's gold, Marcus. Gold.
And make sure to skip all these cutscenes.
You look like someone with a lot of...
And here you want to face your camera towards this direction, then use the car app. Doing it this way makes it so that your car doesn't despawn when you approach it. So just run over to your car. From here, we have to wait a few minutes for the phone call for the next mission to show up. So we have plenty of time. We're going to use this time to unlock the danger zone car, which we're going to use for the rest of this run. And we drive to here, then use the jumper, and want to bring the jumper into this vent. At the end of this vent, you want to unlock this and go through here, and you can see the car. So we use the vehicle directional hack to break the wood that's hiding the terminal. After exiting the jumper, you want to make sure not to crash into any pedestrians because they can alert the cops. Then just drive into the underground parking garage here and open this left door to reveal the danger zone car. This car is one of the fastest in the game, but it can be destroyed in one collision because it's not very durable. So we'll add this to the car on demand app and use it for the rest of this run. Make sure that you set up the car in the car app by ordering it. Then fast travel back to the hackerspace. Then you just want to wait here until the phone call shows up. So just skip the phone call and run down to start the mission.
Of course, fucking Lenni.
Then go into the map, zoom in to fast travel to this theater.
Keep working on.
You want to cancel the phone call and want to move into this position to talk to this guy to start the mission. And you have to wait for this phone call before you're able to fast travel. Then fast travel to this pawn shop because it's the closest to the next mission. Then use the car app to spawn the newly unlocked danger zone car. Then use Nitrous and drive to the next mission. Want to park better than I do here, so just get out and start this mission.
So,
Here you can recharge your botnet by hacking these guys in front of the building. You may want to run over to the side of the building. This mission also has some RNG with these two guys outside near this gate. Sometimes they spawn together, or sometimes they spawn apart like this. If they spawn together, you want to distract them both before jumping over the railing. If they spawn apart, you just need to distract the first guy closest to you before jumping over the railing. Then you can distract the second guy after you jump over the railing. You may need to distract these guys a second time if they happen to look away from the phone. Make sure that you have your Electroshock device equipped. Then you want to run up to this spot. Then you want to open the garage door, throw at the machine. Then while running, you can throw Electroshock device at this other machine. If you miss the throw, then you can also use an explosive device on the machine. Then after that, you want to run down here. You can throw an explosive device at the side of this building here. Then you want to get inside the boat. And you can detonate the explosive device while driving off. Need to wait until after you skip this phone call before you're able to fast travel. When to fast travel back to the theater here, and immediately press escape to cancel this phone call and start the mission.
You sure you want to keep going with this?
So you want to face away from this alley to spawn the car, because otherwise the car will spawn in a bad location. From here we just drive to the next objective. It's a long drive. It was very important not to destroy your car in a collision.
Where?
When the botnet runs out, we want to go into the research app. We want to get the mask Haum disrupt skill, because this is the best skill in the speedrun, and we'll be using it later. And you also want to get the botnet upgrade. It will recharge botnet, which you can use for Nitrous. So from here on out, we don't get any more botnet upgrades, and we don't waste any more time going into the skills menu to get any more skills. We'll get skills later, but that will not waste any time.
What's the plan?
And when driving through this section, make sure that you slow down. We're driving up to this enemy area. You can use the mass comm hack. Then drive your car into the area. Get out, cancel the phone call, and trigger the objective. After you do the physical hack and skip these phone calls, it's probably one of the hardest hacking puzzles in the game. This is a special one because if you unlock a node on one side of the room. The set of nodes on that side of the room starts spinning, and you can't do anything over there until it stops spinning. So what we do is go to the other side of the room where the nodes are not spinning to avoid that, and start unlocking and moving nodes on that side. And after you complete the nodes on that side, you can go back to the nodes that were previously spinning. And another thing is that spinning nodes can cause some variance for the hacking puzzle. So what I show for the hacking puzzle may actually be different than when you're doing it, because my speed and timing for these nodes is a lot faster than everyone else. So moving certain nodes while nodes are still spinning can move other nodes. You'll know what I mean if you do this enough times. So you want to keep that in mind when doing this hacking puzzle. We'll stand in this position here. So we want to move this node, and this node again, this node, and this node. Want to move over to this side of the room. So we want to move this node, this node, and this node.
Is that Lenni?
She's rigged the place to blow.
Then you want to move back to the first 7 nodes. Want to wait just before it stops spinning. That is when you want to move these nodes again. This node, this node, this node, and this node.
2, no, 3. It looks like shit.
Want to move over to this side of the room. This node, and this node.
Maybe 4. They don't.
And you want to run up the stairs. Want to move this node, and this node, and this node.
Seem connected, so I don't think the order matters.
How many nodes?
Just find another way
Want to
out.
move over to this side of the room. So we want to move this node,
Guys,
this node,
I need to
this node, and this node,
concentrate.
and this node. Want to move over to this side of the room. This node, and this node. So we want to move this node, this node, this node, this node, this node, and this node. This node, and this node. And unlock the final node. Then you want to skip this phone call. So after the black screen, you want to turn your camera away, spawn the car. Then cancel this phone call and get inside this car. And now we have a few minutes to wait until the next mission will pop up. So we can use this time we have to collect some money for the quadcopter. We'll be going to a couple locations around Marin and also unlock the sailboat races for later. So want to get out over here. Climb up here. Distract this guy and then get the money back. And jump back down. Get back inside the car and drive to the next location. And I use the mass comm hack here to distract everyone, to collect the money back. Then you want to go back to the car and drive to this place to unlock the sailboat races. We're going to use a sailboat race for later in the game for fast travel. So just talk to this guy, buy the cheapest sailboat. And I think you can press the movement keys, press space very quickly. You can kind of skip the short cutscene. Then you want to talk to this guy over here to unlock the sailboat races. Then go back to the car and go to the next mission location. And when you arrive at the mission start location, if you don't like the bike that's parked in front, you can move it out of the way. If you do that, another bike will spawn after you start the mission. If you drove your car here, make sure that you switch to a bike because the car will spawn in place of the bike if you don't do that after the mission start. So this weight can vary depending on how fast you are. If you're slow, you actually have less time to wait here. But if you're fast, then you have about 3.5 minutes after completing Hacker War until the phone call will show up. So during this time you can just hack people for money. So skip this phone call and then start the mission. And you can also move during this fade. So you want to move forward. And then get on the bike. And drive to where the truck is located. And you can try to run over a person or two while driving to this truck. Then use the mass comm hack while driving off. And you want to drive this route towards the tunnel. So you want to time this correctly. You want to wait until the last line of dialogue with the FBI before it's safe to escape from them. If you do it too early, they might still send cars after you. If you do it too late, the cars that still spawn can detect you. You can just ignore the rest of the cars that will spawn. So now you just want to go to this next location to get another money back. Driving here, I just kind of turn my camera away to manipulate bike spawn. Don't know if it actually works 100%, but I still do it.
What's going on?
And you want to use a jumper to get the money back because range of the circle doesn't extend that far. So just make sure to distract any guys that will try to destroy your jumper.
About time.
Now you most likely have enough for the quadcopter. Then you want to drive in range of this bike if it spawns.
We're getting an incredible amount of stuff here.
Get on the bike and you want to wait until 100%. Drive out the circle with the bike. Then wait until the phone call with wrench. Fast travel to this coffee shop. Then after fast traveling there, skip this phone call and start the mission. After you skip this cutscene, there should be a bike in front of the coffee shop. This bike is actually the same bike you used in the previous mission. So get on the bike, then use the Driver SF app while driving to the car. Get off the bike, then get inside the car and drive to the next objective. And skip this cutscene here. Now the route here doesn't matter too much, since you have to wait for all the dialogue to finish before you can trigger the final cutscene. So as long as you reach the final cutscene before dialogue finishes, you should be good. And make sure that you don't crash into anything, because that can delay the dialogue also.
I'm being scoped by the feds too? Isn't that why you wouldn't tell us where those photos came from? I was merely being prudent. And I'm being prudent by talking to you in person. So, Marcus, I'd be remiss if I didn't point out that a young man who discovers that the Federal Bureau of Investigation is after him should probably re-examine some of his life choices. Good advice. Particularly a young black man. Guilty. Good. We've gotten that out of the way. So how did you get those photos of us in the bar? Let's just say I have a source. Does your source have anything else I should know? Word is the feds are going after hackers hard. They're trying to co-opt or blackmail every group they can. For what? They want control of all the 0 days, and they don't want competition. Damn, now the FBI is in on it? Hacking might not be cool anymore. I'm not joking, Marcus.
Then at the end here, you can also hack this guy for botnet. Skip the cutscene, then when the fast travel over to Oakland to get to this next mission. Here I kinda take a risk by going for a bike or fast vehicle that's already on the street, but you can also use the car app to spawn a car. So you just drive to the phone to start this next mission. Then you want to reload checkpoint or restart mission to teleport across the street. So you want to go left here to avoid the bollard. Then you want to run up to the keypad to use it to open the door. Hold the interact button to use it.
Open sesame.
Then run to the elevator and also hold the interact button to use it. You want to stand on this side of the elevator because that's the side you want to exit on to get to the next objective. After the doors open, you want to route to the top floor. When you reach this part of the stairs, you can climb up over here. Then climb the ladder. And climb up over here to get to the hacking puzzle. Point your cursor at that to start the hacking puzzle. And you want to move this node. This node. Then move this node. You can also use your gun to point at the node if needed.
This is gonna take a second.
Don't waste time
Move this node.
enjoying the view, buddy.
That node. This node again. That should be it. just climb on top of these boxes and jump down and skip the phone call. And you can distract this guard and hack them for botnet if needed. Same for this guard as well. You want to make sure you have your Electroshock device equipped. You want to throw it at this window. You want to detonate the device to destroy the window. And here you want to hack the guard for the access key, but you can accidentally hack the junction box as well. So open this door and reach this objective. Here it doesn't really matter if the enemies detect you while you're trying to access this objective. If they have engaged in combat with you, then I recommend that you hack the panel in this room in case a guard comes by. And when exiting this room, it depends on whether they have detected you or not. If they have detected you already and have engaged in combat with you, you want to use the mass combat here. If not, you want to save it for later. And when you're running back to the elevator, it doesn't matter if the enemy is engaged in combat with you or not. Just want to stay alive and be able to trigger the elevator. So I might use a combination of stun gun and electroshock device and environmental hacks to knock enemies out. And again, you want to hold the interact button to trigger the elevator.
Come on, Jesus.
Going down.
And when going down in this elevator, you can use NetHack to see where the guards are. If they have engaged in combat with you on the upper level. If they have engaged with combat with you, then you want to use the mass comm hack. If they haven't, then you can just run out. And here you want to find the fastest car or bike that's close by. Then you want to drive out of the circle and also get to the first mission for Eye for an Eye, because it's close by.
I'm out, but damn it.
So just get out, park over here, and trigger the mission.
I found the phone, but no harass.
Wait to skip the phone call before you're able to fast travel. We fast travel here to get to the next mission. Then you want to use the crab to spawn the car. And want to drive across the freeway. You want to slow down a little bit, so don't use nitrous here. And drive up to this mission. The car may or may not stay in the area after starting this mission. Then you want to start the hacking puzzle. Then I move this node and this node while running over here.
I'm about to...
Then you want to climb up here and spin this node. Then you want to spin this node, then this node, then this node, and this node.
Satara.
And you climb up the ladder, you can spin this node. And you want to spin this node. You want to spin this node. You will spin this node. Then this node. Then unlock the final node.
Come on, I gotta get this.
And drop down here. Use this. Now here, you do changes depending on if the car you drove here teleports over here. If it spawns over here, you can try getting into the car before the cutscene starts. If the car that you drove here is not here, then you want to go to this spot, and then you just want to stay in this spot and cancel the phone call.
Just like a Roy Orbison.
Now this cutscene is unskippable, So yeah, at least 3.5 minutes until this cutscene will end. The only thing you can do here is just hack the FBI agent's phone and hack Wrench's mess. But nothing you do here will really save any time unless you just stay on this camera. This default camera will give you the fastest outcome at the end of this cutscene. So you just want to be on this camera. So we'll just skip ahead to the end of this cutscene. After the cutscene ends, you want to change your camera to this position if the car that you drove here is not in the area, and use the car up to spawn the car. Then you want to drive to the next objective. And here you just want to be careful on this jump. I recommend not going too fast. You don't want to collide with any cars. You also don't want to crash too hard into the ground. That can still destroy your car if you're not careful enough. And you want to be careful driving head on into traffic. So drive over here, then open the gate. Stop your car over here, and use this camera. Hack the access key. Then exit and disable these two lasers. Open the door, run inside, and you might want to distract the guard at the entrance here if they are looking at you. You want to go for the lock here first because you want to download data and that will start the counter to 100%. And during the counter you can get the mask. And depending on the RNG here, you might also get another guard in this area. If there is a guard in this area, then you want to distract them. You might also want to take them down. And you might also want to distract this guard up here in case they might see you. So you just run straight to this terminal to get the unlock. In your camera and download the data. And while running to the mask, you might want to distract or knock out that guard and get the mask. And open the door, disable laser, and run out. And you can also use the mask comeback here. And I use the Electroshock Device on the laser to save some botnet. Position the car over here and wait for the counter to reach 100%. If you reach 100%, you want to drive out. Drive this route. And then you want to stop using nitrous here. You want to slow down enough just so that you're able to hack this gate and drive through here. Here you want to be careful. There always seems to be vehicles here blocking you. Regardless of whether there are vehicles here, you still want to slow down, since if you don't slow down here, you'll crash with the ceiling of the first floor of the parking garage. And you just want to drive over here, into the stairs, and get out. And then run up to the roof, dock the wrench, and trigger the cutscene. Test drive over to Total Motors over here. And use the car app to find this car. Get in, then drive to this next mission. Make sure you slow down before driving right next to the front door here. You want to skip this cutscene And immediately we want to go for the van because it's a tall enough vehicle that we can climb on top of for this mission. And you want to open this gate. And then shoot here to manipulate the enemies. And you want to look at the vehicles parked over here. If there is a vehicle blocking this parking spot over here near this window, then you want to move out of the way so that you can park the van there to climb on top of it and to climb through the window. If there already is a tall vehicle like another van, then you can probably use that as well.
Marcus, check out
So
these
when
texts I pulled.
climbing here, you want to use the mass comm hack at the same time. Then hack the computer. There's RNG for this mission as well. The enemy spawns are not always the same. And make sure you turn on net hack because dogs are not affected by the mass comm hack, so you want to look out for them. And they can still detect you. So as long as they're not looking at you when you jump down, they should not detect you. You might also have to take out and or distract a few more cars in this area. Make sure they also cancel the phone calls.
It's all coming in.
Make sure they open the window on the other side here. And you can get the money back. And you can use the explosive device or electroshock device to destroy the railing over there. Then you can run over here and then trigger the objective. Then jump down. Using the car app to spawn a car is the most consistent. And when running over to the car, you can open the gate and use the mass comm hack to distract enemies that might be in this alleyway. So now you want to drive out of the circle and to the next mission. And you're wondering why I don't just drive out of this area and then fast travel. Well, you can fast travel and it might be faster, but you don't get the opportunity to use the car app again because it's within 60 seconds. So the fast traveling option is only worth it if you get a good vehicle in the mission area to drive away. You also want to be mindful of an enemy vehicle along this road here, so just keep that in mind. Most of the time, driving with the danger zone will work to escape from the enemies, but sometimes they might still chase after you.
Now those fuck.
So you just want to drive up to this concrete block to stop your car. And get out, climb up here to start this next mission.
Hey.
You want to hold the jump button to jump over these containers. And when dropping down here, you can hack these guys for more botnet if needed. And make sure you equip your electroshock device. And I choose to throw it in between the opening here at the shipment. You can find your own reference point to use. It might be more suitable for you. Just be careful not to mess up any of your throws because you need all of your devices to do the fastest strats here. And I detonate the device using the detonate all devices button. Want to run up here, distract a couple enemies. Then also use the electroshock device on this next one.
Shit destroyed.
Then switch to explosive device. And also want to distract or knock out this enemy here. You can throw the explosive device within range of the shipment or at the explosive barrels.
Down to 2.
And this last one, you want to throw it at the explosive barrels. You can also use the mass comm hack as a backup strat, just in case. After destroying all shipments, you want to jump down to this boat
Entire cocaine
and use it to escape this mission.
Hackers are all up in our network. Gonna try something.
Then fast travel back to this dealership.
grabbed Horatio and killed him, then next.
The main...
Then drive to this next mission. Drive over here, use this jet to stop your car, and you can use your car to climb up to this roof if it's in the correct spot.
Thanks.
After starting this mission, you want to use this camera. You can use the junction box to knock out this first guy.
Luis Trevino won't bother
And
us
you want to
anymore.
run to your
Bastard.
car. And you can use the mass compact to be a little bit more safe. You want to throw the explosive device at this darkened part of the road, and then activate the proximity. And make sure that no other vehicle gets in the way. And you want to keep looking at the explosive device to make sure that it destroys the vehicle that's coming. Then you want to drive to this next area and you want to spawn camp Hirota. So you can throw the explosive device at this spot. And you do not want to activate the proximity because that can soft lock your game. So you want to manually detonate the explosive device right when the vehicle spawns. And that should end the mission. So you want to fast travel to this spot to get to the next mission. Then use the car app to spawn your car. Then drive to the next mission. Just gotta be careful here not to destroy your car. Then park over here. And climb over here and start the mission.
Hey.
And when jumping down here, you can get a bike in this area. So you might use it if you find one. But most of the time there isn't a bike. So you just run into the mission area and use the mass compact. And then open this door. And then you want to run to the elevator. And you want to hold the interrupt button to use it. After this cutscene, you want to use the reload checkpoint to skip this Pablo cutscene. Then you want to switch to the stun gun. You can also distract this guy and knock this guy out. Then you want to run somewhere around here, just somewhere around the middle of the stairs. You can use the door as a reference point and make sure that you know what the scope button is. You can also no-scope it, but it's a lot harder to see Pablo. You want to aim the sniper rifle at Pablo's head to kill him in one shot. If you don't see him initially, you want to move around until you get a good shot. You can shoot him through any part of the door, but the glass is the only part of the door where you can see him. And then you just want to run to the elevator. And you can press the interrupt button right before the elevator is open to use the elevator here.
That's the...
And here you don't need to move from the elevator to trigger this final cutscene. So just skip this cutscene.
Got him on, man.
Then I'm gonna go to the 3D printer to get the quadcopter.
Ray, my man.
Then fast travel to this location. And then use the car app to spawn the car. And use this to drive to the next mission. You want to stop using nitrous at this hill so that you can control your car better to get to the mission. Then you want to get out and start the mission. The car that you drove to the mission will spawn in this parking lot, which is nice. So you want to get in and wait for T-Bone to get to the door before you drive off. And this is a long drive, so make sure that you don't destroy your car.
Drop me off at the hack.
And I don't get a botnet upgrade during this mission because it actually wastes time.
Call when you get to Galilee. They'll have a satellite waiting for you.
Me and one of your magic clipper chips.
Magic, yes. Clipper chip? Go fuck yourself. Ever think you'd make it this far?
Honestly, I never thought this far was possible.
At this point, you want to slow down, then hit the trigger. Then fast travel to here for the next mission.
Ray, man, I gotta tell you.
You can hack the robot for more botnet, and you want to start the hacking puzzle while running. And while running up against this wall, you want to release the quadcopter. I will skip the animation of Marcus releasing the quadcopter, saving you a couple seconds.
T-Bone, I'm here.
Then you want to move the quadcopter up to the roof. So here you move this node, then this node, then back to this node. Then unlock this node. You want to move this node and this node. Then back to this node. Then this node again. Then this node and the final node. Then exit and start the mission. You can hack the robot again for more botnet.
I can see.
Then run over here. Disable the laser. And you also want to distract this guard. And you want to open this door. Now going the first floor is faster than going up the stairs. You want to cancel the phone calls. And while running into here, you want to throw the Electroshock Device at the ground so that you can use it to escape. You want to use the device to escape because the phone calls will block you. And you want to move Marcus right next to it. Then hack the crane. We can use the crane to skip everything, so it's the best option. And after hacking the crane, you want to move it to the left a little bit before lowering it down. Then you want to detonate the Electroshock Device to escape.
Oh, baby!
And then you want to switch over to the mass cam hack. That will distract all guards and disable the robots. And you want to climb on top of the container. You want to cancel the phone call. Adjust your height so that you don't go too high or too low with the height of the window that you're about to destroy and climb through. You want to use the height of the railing over there as a reference. So you want to be just a little bit above the height of the opening here. If you go too high up, then Marcus will collide with the upper height. And if you do it too low, Marcus may not be able to get through as well. Unlike the glass, in most missions for this game, this glass is fortunately breakable. So we'll use a stun gun to shoot it to break it, which will allow us to climb through. So I don't actually use the jump button to get through because I don't want him to accidentally fly across the room. And you want to access this objective.
Status all clear.
And when it's done, you want to climb up on this counter. And you want to use the monitor to block you, so that you don't accidentally just jump off the edge, not onto the container. So you just jump onto the container and then raise the crane all the way to the top to the next objective. So you want to skip the phone calls.
You know,
and climb up here. Then access this objective.
All systems functioning. All clear.
all right.
Then you want to climb down. And here you want to use the mass compact just in case. And when jumping down here, you want to make sure that you land on the correct part so that you don't fall on the other side of the lasers. Then when escaping here, you actually run out. You don't get into the car yet because running is a little bit faster than using the car because it takes too long for the car to start up. Then you want to run back to this car. This car over here will be unlocked. And you also want to cancel the phone call. This starts a 6-minute wait until the start of the next mission. There's nothing we can do to skip this waiting, so we'll do some setup for later. We'll get the speed boost key data, which we can use for our jumper and quadcopter. We'll drive to Alcatraz to get the speed boost key data. So you want to go to the stadium, and right next to the stadium are some boats. You will most likely find a speedboat there, so we'll use that to drive to Alcatraz. The reason why we don't fast travel is because it wastes time, and you have plenty of time to drive over to Alcatraz. Make sure that you also skip any phone calls or media broadcasts that show up. So you want to stop the boat right about here, and this is when you release the quadcopter. And you want to go into this vent to get the key data. You don't want to go into the research app to get the skill yet, because we can get it in the next mission, and it doesn't waste any time to do that. And after getting the key data, you can choose to go back closer to the hackerspace so that you don't have to scroll further on the map when you fast travel to the hackerspace for the next mission. If you choose to stay here and take a break, then you might have to scroll a little bit further on the map when you fast travel back to the hackerspace. This is a long drive, so we'll skip some of the driving. You want to wait for this save icon to show up before you fast travel back to the hackerspace. That saves a few seconds over just skipping the phone call and then fast traveling. The reason why we don't fast travel back to the hackerspace earlier is because we cannot get the phone call for the next mission at the hackerspace. So we have to be outside that area for the phone call to show up. And I choose to stay in the boat because going on foot can cause some problems for the fast travel. It can cause the phone call for the mission to be reset, so that's why I stay in the boat. You want to see this icon show up on your screen. That is your key to fast travel. And after you fast travel, you want to run down the stairs, cancel this phone call, and start the mission. Make sure that you skip these cutscenes. Then go to the left satellite because we have time while waiting for the phone call to show up. So skip the phone call before you go to Seoul. Immediately you want to go hack this camera. You want to skip the phone call before you're able to hack these computers here. And we use a numbering system here for these workstations. So from left to right, we go 1, 2, 3, and on the right here, 4, 5, 6. So you want to go hack 2, 3, then 6. And that should be it. You just have to wait until dialogue with this guy finishes before this cutscene ends.
좋아. 압력계 전기는 작동시켰나? 그게 어디? 누가 좀 망한 놈 좀 끄라고.
서지가 계속 상승합니다.
빌어먹을. 분명히 이건 날아갈 판이군. 좁아 전압을 반경시켜. We're fucked.
And after that, you want to go to the left satellite again. You want to go to the Dubai server.
What the fuck did you do, Wrench?
Shut down.
And you have to skip these calls before you're able to hack the access key. So you hack the access key, then hack that camera on the other side there. Then you want to hack these 5 units. So you can rapidly press the hack button, or you can do it at a controlled pace. Then you want to go to the left one again and go into the Dublin server.
Josh, you are definitely the man.
You want to skip this phone call, then hack these cameras to reach the alarm. You have to skip this phone call before you're able to hack the alarm. Then go back to the start. And you have to wait until this access key is able to be hacked.
Don't touch anything.
Arsehole.
So you hack the access key, then the computer.
Okay. Security guru.
Then skip the phone call to finish Dublin.
No.
Then you want to go left again. And then go into the Delaware server. You want to hack this drone and then move it into position for this hacking puzzle.
All the blooms.
So you hack the camera over here. Start the hacking puzzle. Then go back to the drone. You can get this node during the transition. Do this node and this node.
At the size of that.
Do this node, and this node.
Guys, we still got this.
Do this node, and this node.
Right?
Do this node and this node. Do this node again. Do this node. Do this node, and this node. Do this node, and this node.
Man, they really have this
Do this node again.
locked down.
Do this node and this node. Do this node, and this node. Then we move over here and do the nodes on this side. Do this node and this node. Do this node. Do this node and this node. Do this node. Do this node again. Do this node, and this node. Do this node and this node. Do this node. Do this node, and this node. Do this node. Do this node. Do this node and this node. Do this node, and this node. Then you can finish off the rest of these nodes by just pressing the hack button once for each of them. Then go back to the camera and finish the hacking puzzle. And you want to go back into the drone. And this is where you want to get the speed boost skill, because the counter to reach 100% still runs in the background while you're in the research app. After getting the skills, you just want to cancel the phone calls. Just wait for it to finish. And then you want to skip these cutscenes. And again, you want to quit into the main menu and then go back quickly into the game to fix some of the inconsistent timing with the phone calls showing up. Now, going into the main menu and going back into the game resets the order of cars in the Reset Orders tab in the car app. So you want to order the danger zone car again to fix that. And then you want to run to this spot to talk to T-Bone.
Now.
And then wait for the phone call to show up. Then cancel the phone call and start the mission.
What's up, Ray?
Joshua picked up.
Then you want to fast travel to this coffee shop. You want to run in this direction. Look over here and see if there's a bike. If there isn't a bike there, you can look over to the other street and see if there's a bike there. And if you can't find any bikes, you can use the car app to spawn a car. With a car, you can drive up to the entrance, but with a bike, you can drive into the mission area. So you want to stop in this part of the area where the ground isn't as dark, because that will not despawn the bike unless it falls over. And then you want to climb on top of the container towards the middle here, and you want to hack the crane. You want to use the crane to clip Marcus into the container so that you don't have to move the container to activate the mission. I use this camera angle to move the crane. So you want to make sure that Marcus collides with a solid part of the crane, because the crane has several openings, and if you miss him, you'll lose time. So you don't want to use the outer edge because it might knock Marcus off the container. So I use this part of the crane, which can push Marcus through. So start the mission. Skip the cutscene. And if you do not want to do the clipping strat, you can do this instead. Want to park in this area so that the bike doesn't despawn. And hack the crane and move it into position to attach it to the container. And you want to wait until you hear the banging sound before you want to move the crane again. Then get on the bike and drive out of the area.
Marcus?
Now the concrete block over here can sometimes despawn, so it isn't always there. After you drive out, cancel the phone call. Then you want to zoom in and fast travel to this location to reach the next mission. You want to use the car app to spawn a car, then drive to the next mission. And here, there can sometimes be cars blocking you. So we just want to drive into the alleyway and talk to the guy to trigger the mission. So hold escape, skip the dialogue. Then you want to look for a car close by to drive to the mission area. So you can get either a car driving by, or a car parked over here, or the car that you drove here with, but usually that car is parked a little bit further away down the road. When driving around this corner, you want to shoot your gun to manipulate the guys inside this building to come out and open the door. So you get off over here, equip the mass comm hack, and wait till this guy opens the door. Then activate it and run past everyone. You want to hack the picture to reveal the safe. And while running against this statue, you want to release the jumper. That skips a small animation. And you want to use a jumper to access the safe because the jumper has a faster animation than Marcus here. Then you want to exit out. Wait for the phone call. Cancel it. Then reload the checkpoint. That should teleport you outside. And you just have to run outside the circle to finish the mission. Then you want to fast travel to here to reach the next mission.
What's the plan, Stan?
Then you want to get onto the dirt bike. And just drive to the next mission. Then you want to get off here. Make sure that your bike doesn't block you from climbing up here. So just run to this spot and start the mission. Then you want to cancel the phone call and skip the shortcut scene. Go 2 satellites to the left. Cancel the phone call. Then hack the ship. And you want to go for this camera. You might want to zoom in to hack this terminal.
Come on, man. Don't keep us in suspense.
Then hack this camera and get the access key. Then hack the jumper. And you want to jump up here. Ideally, you can do it in 2 jumps. And make sure to cancel his phone calls. Move over here, then open the door. Then hack the login. Then go back to the start. Then skip these phone calls until you're able to hack the terminal. And you just need to wait until the mission finishes. Cancel the phone call. Then you want to zoom in, fast travel to here. Jump down and look for a car in this parking lot. You don't want to use the car app because that car will spawn too far away. You want to drive to the next mission. So make sure you equip the explosive device. Then you want to drive into the water. And you can move in this direction into the dock and press the interact button to start the mission. Or you can also try to jump on top of your car and onto the dock to start the mission. Hold escape to skip the dialogue. And while running to the boat, you can throw an explosive device on it. And while on the boat, make sure to throw another explosive device. You can throw both of them after you've entered the boat, but you might miss a throw. Make sure that you throw it to the front of the boat. The explosive devices are for blowing yourself up after you reach the first checkpoint on the ship so that you teleport there. So make sure you blow yourself up using the Detonate all devices button when you see the save icon appear. And here you want to look at this guy, see if he can see you. Sometimes he goes the other way, but you might want to distract him. Then run up the stairs, open this door, and you want to hack this guy to get the access key. He isn't always in this spot of the room. You might want to distract him if he is in a corner instead. So you might have to run up a little bit further to hack the access key. And then while running down, you want to activate the mass comm hack. Then open the door and do the physical hack. Turn on net hack. And you can hack the forklift before it turns orange. The enemies do not come into this room unless you've messed up, so you're pretty safe. So just drive to the elevator and skip the phone calls. And after you've driven the forklift into the elevator, make sure to hack the elevator. And if you're able to hack the forklift before it turns orange, you want to exit out and then hack it again, so that the game recognizes that you hacked the forklift and can start the timer. And you want to close the door and then place Electroshock devices at the doors.
That's not good.
And just wait for the timer.
What's the plan?
Around 5 to 10 seconds, you can jump down. Then use the mass comm hack. And just wait for the cutscene to start. And just skip these cutscenes.
You know, Michelle, we're just glad that these hackers were finally brought.
Then you want to run down the stairs into the spot to start the mission.
We've got all
And just skip these cutscenes. Fast travel to this coffee shop again for the next mission. So just want to climb here to get onto the road. Then run towards the middle of the street and hack the crane. And you don't want to load the crane too quickly. You want to wait till it gets to the middle of the street before allowing Marcus to get onto it. So just want to get Marcus onto the crane, then raise it to allow Marcus to get onto the building. Make sure that the crane doesn't collide with the building, because that can throw Marcus off of the crane. We'll just raise it to this height, and then get off. And you want to equip the Electroshock device. You want to throw it on the fence to destroy it, so that you don't have to use the jumper. So just climb up here, cancel the phone calls, and then interact with the billboard. Then want to fast travel here for the next mission. And then use the car app, spawn the car, then drive it to the next mission. Make sure to also cancel phone calls if you have any.
We found a potential diamond in the Galilee.
You there?
And get out and start the mission. skip this cutscene, and you can also move during this fade. And then you want to run to the building. If you find a bike here, it might be a little bit faster to drive up there. This mission is arguably the hardest in the speedrun due to the RNG. All of the guards can spawn in different locations, so make sure you turn on NetHack. And sometimes you can get the access key in front of this window if someone walking by has the access key, but usually you have to hack a camera to get the access key. Then use the mass comm hack and open the door. There might be a guard or two in this area right next to the terminal, so you might have to take them out using a electroshock device or a stun gun, but make sure that it doesn't alert any guards coming over from that direction, so you might have to go closer to the terminal before knocking out a guard. So just keep in mind that there may be a guard or two coming over from that direction, even though they may not normally head towards the direction of the terminal. You also want to activate this junction box to catch anyone coming around the corner, or if a guard is already there. You may have to knock out the guard if they are out of the range of the junction box and close to the terminal. So just use this terminal. And then you want to run downstairs, so open this door and look to the left to see if anyone's there. You might want to distract the person there if they are on the left. So just run downstairs. Open these two doors and start the hacking puzzle. So you want to do this one. Then run over here. Do this node. Do this node and this node. And do this node. And run over here. And do this node. You might as well get the nodes on this side while you're over here. Do this node and this node. Then run over here. Do this node, and this node. Do this node and this node. Another thing that you want to keep in mind during this hacking puzzle is that you can accidentally hack a door or hack another node, so just be careful about that. If you close a door, then you'll have to open the door again or run to the side to hack a node. So you just want to run to this other room to do the nodes on this side. Do this node. Do this node and this node. Do this node and this node. And this node. Do this node. Do this node. This node. This node. This node and this node. Then finish the hacking puzzle and interact with this objective. And when you're done, you want to run out.
You the man.
Want to go this way and open the door. Probably distract anyone that happens to be able to detect you. And over here is even more RNG with these guards. The guards might enter the center room with the computer, or they may not. So if you want to be safe, you might want to take these guys out. So you want to run out to this computer and you want to place an electroshock device or explosive device near the computer. This is so that you can damage yourself to exit because phone calls are blocking you. This is a very long interaction, so if you do get shot while trying to do this, you'll be interrupted and have to do it again. So hack the phone, then use the detonate all devices button and switch to the mass comm hack, activate it, then jump down, open the door, then exit the building. You can also try to manipulate the enemies on this mission to make it a little bit more consistent. So what you can do is throw an explosive device on a wall and detonate it when the time is right so that the enemies will come running down. So So you can throw one over here. So just do the hacking puzzle as normal. And you can detonate it right about here.
Don't forget to tap.
Code 3. Proceed to alarm location.
And in this area, you might have to distract one or two of these guards to run past them. And you should not have to deal with any guards up here if you've detonated the device at the correct time. So just do it as normal. And everything should be fine. Just gonna show the rest of this part as well. You want to look for a good vehicle to drive to the next mission since it's nearby.
Now get the hell out of there.
So just drive out the circle.
Okay.
And be careful not to crash into this meter because it can stop you. And you can use this bench to slow you down. So just crash into it, get out, and start the mission. So just want to skip this cutscene. And you can also move during this fade, but what I do is get into the car during the fade. That will allow Wrench to get into the car faster as well. And you just want to drive to the next objective.
We can use those to find out what's up.
Security cams to break their security.
You know it.
The vote's one of the few things people got left.
You know Nvite's tracking everybody's voting patterns.
Of course. Why wouldn't they?
This Nvite thing drives me nuts. I mean, companies manipulate.
They control all the traffic. They know everything about everybody and how to take advantage of it.
So I don't drive into this area because there isn't much room to drive your car inside there. I don't want to waste a few seconds having to try to fit my car inside there. So I just get out here. Keep in mind that you cannot climb up the side of this dumpster. And you want to climb up to this objective.
I'll go take a look-see. Check in on your laptop. You want to see what goes down.
And you want to interact with this objective. And skip this cutscene. And you want to climb onto this crane. And notice what buttons I'm pressing. Want to move the crane over to the roof that Wrench is on. Skip this cutscene. And you cannot skip the cutscene with the helicopter, so you have to wait. After that, you want to go back onto the crane.
Hey, is that the congressman?
Hack it and then move it over to this roof over here. Then you want to run over here, climb up here. Continue to hold the jump button to jump across the small gaps. You can also mash the jump and sprint buttons. So just climb up here to reach the terminal. And then you want to go back to the elevator to hack it. Then make sure you equip your gun and you want to shoot out the windows on the building so that you can create an entry point. You should be able to do this before the elevator comes all the way down. And right when you're able to get inside the elevator, you want to hack it again to move it up. You just want to climb up here, then interact with this terminal. Then hack the crane, and you want to move it towards you so that Marcus can get on. Just be careful not to crush Marcus with the crane because you can kill him. So just move the crane up here. And then you can release the jumper when the crane is level with the window here. Just be careful because the jumper might spawn below the crane if you're raising the crane too quickly. You can use the speed boost to jump across to the building. And just be careful also not to crash into the window frames because they can still block you. You can also distract anyone that might see you. So just do this physical hack. Then cancel the phone call. Go back to Marcus. And then move the crane onto the roof so that Marcus can get up there. And then you want to run to the spot. You can place an electroshock device over here in case anyone comes nearby. And you just want to wait for the counter to reach 100%. So right before it reaches 100%, you can use the mass hack to just be a little bit more safe. And then you want to just jump over the railing here and trigger this final cutscene for this mission. This is the fastest way to end this mission since you can end the mission as soon as you get all the way down. So you just want to fast travel to this sailboat race. This is why we unlocked the sailboat races earlier in this run. So use the car app to spawn the car and then drive to the next mission. Can also play it safe here by not using nitrous, since it's harder to maneuver your car if you use nitrous. Then crash into this building next to the mission start, and then get out and start the mission. Want to skip this cutscene. And then you want to run over there. Want to run against this wall at the same time as you release the quadcopter. That will skip the animation. And then you want to move the quadcopter with speed boost over to these machines here. You can hack the panel on the ground to destroy the machines. And you can also distract this guy in case he sees your quadcopter. And you just want to go over to this other one. Open the door. And again use the panel on the ground to destroy the machines. And then hack the lift. And you can ram the lift into these machines at this angle to destroy them. Then exit and you want to release the quadcopter again. And you want to throw an explosive device onto the quadcopter so that you can use it to destroy the rest of the machines. So you fly over here make sure you go right up to these machines here before detonating. And then you can go back to the car that you drove and use that to exit the mission. Or you can find another fast vehicle here and just drive out the circle. Skip this phone call.
I'm out.
And skip this cutscene. So, in this game, the Dedsec app can be used to replay missions. But it can also be used to teleport you to those missions that you've done previously. So as long as the mission is a short cutscene, or you wait until after the initial cutscene to quit out the mission, you can teleport to the area of the beginning of the mission using the app. And what I do here is use the Dedsec app to teleport to the next mission. This strat isn't really faster than just fast traveling and using the car app, but it's more consistent. I use the first Home Sweet Home mission since it's just a short cutscene. Just skip this cutscene, and then you should spawn outside Rich's garage. So just open the door, run inside, and start the mission. You want to skip this cutscene. Just make sure that Wrench is able to get into the van before driving off. Then drive to the next objective.
At the repair depot? Hard to believe that's all you really need to break into the world's top security company.
Well, not counting the $36,000 robot you stole.
So what you're saying is I'm the key contributor in this plan.
Nah, I'm saying you basically a shoplifter, a highwayman.
Highwayman? Oh, I like that. The masked highwayman.
You can also stop short of this objective, and then stop here, get out. Then you want to go in through the front entrance. You want to disable the bottom laser and the top laser, and then run right through, turn on net hack, then hack this camera to get the access key. Climb up the slider, open the door, and then you can use an Electroshock Device on this guy.
I'm gonna whip us up a nasty little.
You can also disable the lasers here to drop down after you collect the parts in the room, and it might be a little bit faster too, but I choose to show the other way. Then open this door and open the other door and interact with this objective. Then jump down, disable the robot, hack it for botnet, and then get more parts here. Then you can open the door and activate the mass comm here. And then you want to run over to this objective, interact with it. Then you want to look at this guard. If he moves forward, then you want to distract him. If he decides to move left, then you do not have to distract him. So you want to cancel this phone call. Equip the Electroshock Device and you can throw it on the wall before you interact with this computer. When it reaches the wrench cutscene, you can detonate all devices to use the Electroshock Device to exit out. And then you want to run up to this door, open it, open the garage door, and then interact with Wrench Jr.
Okay, little guy, today is your day. Make us proud.
Then you can run to this truck and use it to exit this mission. And I also want to show a faster strat that you can do here.
No job is too small or too demeaning for.
So again, run to the front entrance, disable the lasers, and you want to activate the mass comm hack so that you can hack this access key and camera while running. And then you want to go for these parts first. And after that, you want to make your way up to the second level to get the parts over there. So just climb over, distract the guy, Run up the stairs. Open the door. Then open the other door and collect these parts. And when you're done, you want to exit to the right. Disable the laser, jump down. Then you want to equip your electroshock device so you can throw it right next to this interaction. And make sure that you don't accidentally pick them up when you're doing the interaction. And when the save icon appears, that's when you detonate the devices to kill yourself. And that will put you at the location of the next objective. And the guard can spawn here if you get detected by the enemies, so make sure that doesn't happen. You want to put an electroshock device right next to the interaction and wait for the phone call before you can use the computer. And just do everything as normal. But because you reload the checkpoint, you have a faster vehicle outside that you can use to escape.
Okay, little guy. Today is your day.
So overall, doing this strat saves a couple of seconds if you do it perfectly.
Alright, Junior's ready for pickup. Next stop, Titus. Ranch.
And then you want to fast travel to this race to get to the next mission. And you want to use this car because it's always unlocked. And actually it doesn't always spawn here. If it's raining, then you might get a bike here instead. So just drive to this next mission.
Go fuck yourself and your
And you can use this wall to stop you. So just get out and start this mission. Just skip this cutscene and then you can move backwards during this fade towards this bike. And you want to get on this bike and also drive to the next mission. So just drive this route. And you can also use a sign to stop you so that you can get off the bike and start this mission. Skip this cutscene. So you want to open this door and move out. You can use the speed boost with this robot, even though it doesn't say on the controls. And you don't even need the speed boost skill. So just tag these switches the same way as I do and move the robot in the same way. And continue to use speed boost.
Keep heading toward the loading base. The security room is just off to one side.
When you drop down, you want to open this door. And open this door. Reach the objective. Cancel the phone call. Then press the interrupt button. And then you want to run inside the building.
The EMP.
Why won't this fucking thing work?
Use the mass comm hack here. Run up the stairs. Open this door, then reload checkpoint when you see the save icon appear.
Alright, I'm on my way.
And then you want to distract this guard. Disable this robot. You can hack the robot for botnet as well. You can disable the lasers. And then run up here. Disable this laser. And you can use the panel on the ground or an electroshock device to destroy the window. So just climb through and interact with this objective. And you want to run up to the top floor while this counter is still going up to 100%. This is similar to the intro mission, so it will save time by doing this. You want to activate the mass comm hack. Distract any cars if they're in your way. When they run up right next to this elevator switch, and when it reaches 100%, interact with it. Get inside the elevator, press the button, skip the phone call, and skip this phone call. And coming up is another hacking puzzle, so I want to turn on NetHack. Start the hacking puzzle here, and while running up to this panel, you can move this node and this node, and then you want to do this node.
Alright.
You want to interact with this panel and skip this phone call. Skip this cutscene and do this node. Do this node, and while running over to the other panel, do this node and this node. You want to interact with this panel. Skip this cutscene. Do this node. Do this node and this node. Do this node and this node and this node. While running over to the other panel, you want to interact with this panel. Skip this cutscene and do this node. Do this node, this node, and this node. And you'll finish off by doing this node, and this node. And when you're finished with the hacking puzzle, you want to run over here. There's no way, according to my knowledge, to move faster than this over here. So you just have to walk slowly up to this objective. You can interact with this objective a couple meters away. So with this spider drone, jumping is faster than crawling, so we want to jump a lot. So just follow the same order as I do when destroying the fire suppression system.
Alright, I think I got
If you're on a pillar, you can press the jump button to drop down.
Any ideas?
Listen, if you knock out the fire suppression system, the doors should open as a failsafe.
I can do that.
Want to jump over here, and you can shoot with the regular gun and the stun gun at this prototype.
Looks like the door to the backup servers is still closed.
I'm on it. Knock the fuck out of the prototype while we're at the door.
Hell no, buddy.
Then destroy this prototype before moving on to the next one. Then destroy this one. So just make your way over to the next objective.
The door is now open.
There should be an elevator. You'll need to find your way up to the backup server room on sublevel 3.
Who needs elevators?
Make sure you smash the shit out of everything.
Want to stop jumping here. Here you climb up. You can try to destroy these machines in the same order as I do, but it might be faster to do it another way. I'm not entirely sure how many you need to destroy or how much damage you need to do. And in this scenario, I also showed my fastest ever run in this room. So just make sure that you skip this cutscene and then skip the rest of these cutscenes.
What's going on in there?
Yo, Marcus. Check out all this.
Then you want to fast travel back to the hackerspace. Just move a little bit forward to interact with this door. Skip the phone call. And run up here. Make sure that you select the correct option. And you can start the final mission. Want to skip these cutscenes.
What's going on?
So you just want to skip this cutscene. And then make your way over to the objective.
Yo, Marcus!
So you just want to climb over this. And you want to use a wall to climb up here. And you can use this ledge to climb up to the top. Or you can go over to here to climb up to the hacking puzzle. And you just want to pretty much follow the same route as I do for this hacking puzzle. You just need to press the hack button once for each of these nodes. So this is pretty much one of the easiest hacking puzzles in the game. Then you want to skip the phone call, then interact with this objective. Then you want to hack the camera, and then hack the computer. Just wait for it to get to 100%.
I'll never work in tech again.
That's the least of your problems, dear. Dushan will track down your family and get them fired too. He's very high noon justice that way.
Jesus, you're not helping.
Andrew, my door is always open. You know that.
I don't plan on being an assistant forever, Mary.
No, hon. Not as my assistant. You betrayed Dushan.
Just skip the phone call.
I scored.
And you just want to skip this cutscene. And you can also move during this fade. Just run right to the objective. And you want to distract everyone individually. So just run right up to this objective and interact with it. And it doesn't really matter if guys here see you or not, because you can just take them out with the grenade launcher. So I just get detected.
I need some help here. Engage.
And you can already run to the basement before it reaches 100%. So just go down and destroy them all.
Hey Marcus, does this room look small to you?
Man, I'm not there.
Yep, looks small to me too.
Grenade out. Give it up.
And when you jump down here, you can open the door on the other side if there isn't a blackout. And you want to get ready to open this door when it reaches 100%. So here you just want to destroy the machines with 2 grenade shots, so you can shoot in between them with splash damage to destroy them. Then skip the phone call.
Damn, y'all did good.
Sending you the code to get inside. Dushin's assistant doesn't know he's been hacked. You'll have no surprises.
Once you access Bloom's air gap,
You want to move backwards to find this bike, and you can use this bike to drive to the objective. So just make sure not to crash into anything. Make sure not to fall into this ditch here. Drive up to the glass here and make sure that the bike doesn't block you and doesn't prevent you from interacting here. So just interact with the keypad.
Nope. Oh no.
Oh shit.
So.
Oh my. What is this?
Should I be running?
We don't need any hackers here. Get.
Whoa! Fuck off!
So just want to go down the stairs to go for the first physical hack. Skip these phone calls. Distract this guy.
Oh shit.
And this guy. And also get the access key from this guy. And you want to open this door so that you can go to the physical hack. You can also enter through the other door, but this side is a little bit safer. You just have to worry about the guy that's behind you or to the left of you, because he might sometimes turn his head towards your direction to detect you. And you do not want to be detected here. Otherwise you won't be able to do any of the physical hacks, because people will constantly shoot at you. Just distract this guy again. Open the door. You want to run through and distract this guy and open the door. And want to run up the stairs to go to this terminal. And this is when I activate the mass comm hack. So when running down here, make sure that you land in a safe spot so that he doesn't detect you. And I choose to use the Electroshock devices here. Make sure you throw behind them to knock them out. So this is probably optional. It just makes it a little bit safer so that you don't have to deal with these guys later. So just go over here, open this door, and do this physical hack. And we're running out here. You can also distract these guys. But even if you mess up, as long as you are quick enough, you should be able to get to the elevator in time before they start shooting you.
Don't worry about me, just find a way down.
So just activate the elevator and go all the way down. And you just need to run to the next objective. You just need to run over here to unlock this door and go up here to the computer. Skip this phone call. And start interacting here. I'm going to skip this phone call. So just hold the interact button for all of these. Skip this phone call. And you want to wait until the save icon shows up before you go into the menu to reload checkpoint. It saves a couple of seconds. So you just need to run over here, jump down, open this door, and you want to activate the mass comm hack here and run past everyone. And then go interact with the elevator Make sure that you have your electroshock devices equipped. So just press a button here, and you want to damage yourself so that you can kill yourself in the elevator when the checkpoint shows up to skip some of the elevator ride. So just wait until the save icon shows up before you kill yourself. And if you did that successfully, you should spawn outside of the elevator after the loading screen. You just want to climb up here, switch to the mass comm hack, and make your way over to the exit. When this first guy runs over here, that's when you use the mass comm hack. So just run past everyone. You can put an electroshock device here to take this guy out if you need to, or just distract him. And just run to the correct spot to interact with this keypad. The timer will stop and the screen fades to black. That's also when the HUD disappears. And that's the end of the speedrun. I hope everyone enjoyed this tutorial. If you are on the fence, I hope this tutorial convinced you to speedrun this game. Or if you want to learn this game already, and if you already ran this game, I hope this tutorial also helps you. I also like to thank the people who ran this game before me and also found strats in this game. They helped optimize this game and also made strat finding in this game much easier for me. I don't know if I'll make more Watch Dogs 2 speedrun content, but we'll see.